If it's one thing I've learned in programming, it's that there are many ways to achieve the same thing. As you get better and better at a language or a framework, you start to pick up tricks that make programming kind of fun. Programming becomes almost like skateboarding, where you're going along and executing tricks here and there. With that, here are 5 of my favorite JavaScript tricks that I use day to day. A quick disclaimer before we start though, these tricks can generally only be executed in an ES 2015 environment. Trick number 1, destructuring. So let's say you have a JavaScript object like a product, and that product has a price, a name, and a description. You might start to use these properties a lot, so you decide to pull out those values into variables. Well, if you decide to name those variables the exact same way that they're named on the object, you can use destructuring. You can even destructure multiple values at once. Trick number 2, shorthand for object initializing. In JavaScript, you're bound to create objects all the time like this. Now in some cases, rather than declaring the values in the object directly, you'll use variables like this. Well, if your variables happen to share the same name as the key that you're assigning them to, you can shorthand your object notation like this. Trick number 3, string interpolation. Before ES 2015, we used to concatenate strings in JavaScript using plus signs. Well, with ES 2015, we can do some nice string interpolation using backticks and dollar signs. Trick number 4, trailing commas. When you code objects or arrays in JavaScript, you separate your elements using commas, and we usually leave the last element alone. However, JavaScript allows you to add a trailing comma after the last element. If you do this, it helps yourself and other developers in the future add, delete, or rearrange elements with ease. Trick number 5, use modules. When you start coding fancy JavaScript, a lot of times you'll import libraries or modules from other developers. Modules are a great way to separate code and avoid duplication, so why not use them yourself? If you have anything that's reusable, a function, an object, or even a primitive value, you can put it in a module and import it into other files. Simply declare that item in a file and export it. Then import it into the file that you want to use it in. One note here, be sure that you understand the difference between CommonJS's exports and ES 2015's export, because not all environments support them both. Alright, there you go, 5 JavaScript tricks that'll hopefully brighten up your daily coding life. Thanks for watching.